Okay, so little backstory just in case y'all haven't been following me. I am originally from California, the Bay Area, and I decided to move to Atlanta about 3 months ago. So I picked up all my stuff and I drove across the country. So let me just jump right into why I left. First of all, the area that I was in, I didn't like it. I was in an area called Norcross, in a city called Norcross, and it's about 25 minutes north of Atlanta. So the only reason I chose Norcross was because my friend told me about it, and it was pretty affordable. It seemed to be like the most affordable city that I could like find. And so I chose Norcross, and I had never been to Norcross. I didn't even know what Norcross was. It was a lot of Mexicans, which I don't have anything against Mexicans or anything like that. But it was just like, it was just a lot of Mexicans. So I hated my apartment. I didn't get to see my apartment before I actually moved because I had actually taken a trip to Atlanta to apartment search, but I didn't find anything that time. And I ended up going back home, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. It was a waste of money. And so I was just like, I'm gonna find my place online. So that's what I did. I found my place online, signed the lease, and everything before I actually got to Atlanta. So when it came time to move, when I first got there, it was just not really what I expected. It looked, you know, how the pictures looked, but it was just that it just didn't feel like I lived in Atlanta. Like, I moved to Atlanta because I loved Atlanta. I didn't feel like I lived in Atlanta. I felt like I lived in the middle of nowhere, honestly. Like, that's just how I felt when I was there. Even though it was only 25 minutes away from the city, I just still felt like the way it looked, the way it just made me feel, I just didn't like it. I hated that city. On top of that, my apartment sucked. So, first day I got to my apartment, I'm, you know, looking in the drawers in the kitchen and stuff and trying to figure out where I'm gonna put all my stuff. I see dead roaches in the kitchen. So I kind of knew right then, like, damn, they must have like a roach problem, because when you see a bunch of dead roaches, like, I kid you not, I looked in one cabinet and then there was like 15 or 20 dead roaches in there, like, in that one cabinet. I'm not lying, like, I'm not over exaggerating. There had to be about 15 to 20 dead roaches in that one cabinet. So I don't know if like the previous tenants kept their trash or something under there, but it was horrible. So, but I felt like I didn't have anywhere else to go. I felt like I was stuck because I just, you know, like I said, moved all the way across the country. I didn't have any family to go stay with. I had friends, but not any friends that I was gonna be like, you know, let me stay with you for a while I find another place. That wasn't gonna happen. So I just felt stuck. So I just was like, I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I put in a work order for pest control, and yeah, that didn't help. So pest control came out probably about 3 times and it never worked. I saw roaches the whole time I was there, big ones, small ones, baby ones, and they were everywhere. They were not just only in the kitchen or the bathroom. They were in the kitchen, the bathrooms, the bedrooms, hallways. I would literally walk out of my room and see a dead roach in the carpet. Like, bruh, what the fuck? So, like, probably about a month in, I was like, no, like, I just can't anymore. Like, I was just so fed up. Second issue I had was with my crazy neighbor. So I lived in a 3-story building. I was on the 2nd floor. My apartment was on the 2nd floor. And the person under me had an issue with me since day one. I guess she thought I walked too hard. So literally like from the 2nd day that I moved in, she would bang like a broom or something on the roof, as if like to tell me be quiet, or I don't know. So one day I walk in the house and I drop something on the floor. A few minutes later, she comes up the stairs. She knocks on my door and she was like, I open the door and she was like, hey, I just want to make sure that everything's okay because we hear a lot of stuff breaking and we just want to make sure that you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, like you did not hear nothing break, sis. So anyway, I was like, yeah, I'm good, whatever. That was that. She went back downstairs. That probably was like the first week. So anyway, maybe about a month in, I woke up, literally had just gotten up. I walked to the kitchen. She starts banging on the roof. So at this point, I'm just like fed up with it. Like, you do this shit every day. So I stepped back at her, and I kid you not, like 2 seconds later, she comes running up the stairs and she started banging on my door. I didn't go to the door. I just let her knock because I was like, okay, I already know it's her. Eventually she'll go away, whatever. She did not fucking go away. So she keeps banging on the door. At this point, she's like kicking the door. So I go up to my door. I didn't open it, but I yelled at her through the door and I was like, stop banging on my fucking door. So she starts cussing me out through the door, talking about, bitch, you better ask the last neighbor. You do this shit every day. She was like, I got something for you, and just saying all this shit through the door. So I'm just like, she is really crazy. Like she's fucking crazy. So she starts banging on my door even more, kicking the door, whatever, while she's still yelling, still going off, whatever. We're kind of arguing through the door, but it was mostly her, not me. Anyway, so she goes back downstairs. She started banging on the roof all over the house. Then she started blasting her music. So I called the leasing office and I'm like, hey, I told them what was going on. I told them what had happened. And they were like, oh no, that can't happen. We're gonna go talk to her, blah, 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 and we'll call you back. So they never called me back. I tried to call the leasing office again. They didn't answer the phone. So I called the police. The police came out and they were like, well, did she threaten you with anything? And I'm like, not really. I mean, she did mention that she got something from me, which I don't know what the something is, but whatever. So they were like, well, we can't really arrest her because she didn't threaten you with a weapon. And I was like, I don't want you to arrest her. I just want you to go down there and talk to her. Which is exactly what I wanted my, the leasing office to do, the office manager. And I wasn't sure if she did it or not because they didn't call me back. So that's why I ended up calling the police. So the police go down, they talk to her, they came back upstairs to me and they were like, we told her that you didn't want any contact with her and, all this other shit. So that happened. I didn't really hear from her again after the whole incident. She never banged on the roof again. She never said anything to me. I would see her all the time outside. She never would say shit to me. So that was what it was, but it was still the fact that happened. Like, it was just like, this shit is ghetto. It's not what I asked for. I'm paying too much, first of all, for this raggedy ass place with these raggedy ass neighbors. It was just too much. So I was already fed up. I had started looking at other apartments in Atlanta because I had already decided that I was gonna leave and, break my lease or whatever. I knew the city I wanted to live in was not Norcross, so I was looking in the actual city of Atlanta. And it was just way too expensive. Another reason why I didn't like Atlanta was because of all the crime that I would hear about, all the crime that I would see. It was just too much. And I was like, I'm gonna have to go get my son and bring my son here. And I just started to feel like I didn't want to bring him there. Like, it just wasn't a place I wanted to raise him. You see the little water boys and shit outside selling water. They're hella aggressive. Like, no, that's not about to be my son. That's not about to be my son. So I was like, nah. So then I started thinking, I don't really know how Texas really became a sure thing for me. If you watch my previous video, you'll know that I mentioned that I had already thought about moving to Texas before Atlanta. The only reason that I ultimately decided to move to Atlanta was because I knew more people there, and I knew I wouldn't like be alone or feel lonely, I guess, but that actually wasn't really true because I still felt alone in Atlanta. You know, like my friends had their own things going on, and it was just, I'm pretty much the only friend with a kid, and I don't know, I just still felt lonely, I guess. And I was like, at one point I just started thinking like, I might as well go be lonely in Texas, where I really wanted to go. I think I just probably started looking at places in Texas like out of curiosity, and just like probably to compare the cost of living here and the cost of living there. And then I just started, you know, like falling in love with the apartments and stuff here, and I was just like, damn, it's so much more affordable, and you know, all this. So I don't know, I started looking at places in Texas, and I started calling places, and then one day I just applied for a place just to see if I would get approved, because I didn't know if you could have like, because technically I still have my last apartment in my name, so I didn't know you could have like more than one apartment in your name or whatever. I don't know why I thought that, but apparently you can. So I got approved, and I was like, oh shit, I got approved. So and then after I got approved, they sent me an email, and it said sign the lease within 3 days, or you know, it's back on the market. And I was like, damn, I paid $80 for that application fee. And I was like, I don't want to pay another $80 or keep paying application fees and keep, you know, so 3 days went by. I actually let 3 days go by, and I was like, the whole 3 days I was like, am I gonna sign this lease or no? Like, am I gonna move to Texas or no? So I gave myself 3 days, and on the third day I ended up signing the lease, and that was that. I didn't tell anybody I was leaving Atlanta, like my friends or anybody. I kind of like mentioned it a little bit, but it was more like in a playful way, just to see how they would react. But I didn't tell anybody that I signed the lease or anything. I didn't tell my family at first. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anybody's judgment. Like, you just moved to Atlanta, why would you leave? Like, that, you're doing too much. I already know I have an indecisive problem, for one. I'm a Libra, and baby, it's like that. But yeah, so I didn't want anybody's outside judgment, so I just didn't tell anybody. But I started packing up my stuff in my house. I sold pretty much all of my furniture, pretty much everything. And the only thing I kept was my bed and like just little stuff in my house. And I was like, I had actually planned to get a trailer, because I have an SUV. I intended on getting a trailer to attach to the back of my car, like a U-Haul trailer, and, you know, drive my stuff to Texas. But turns out my car doesn't have like the hitch thing for the trailer. So I was asked out. I had to literally stuff everything in my SUV and drive my ass to Texas. So that's what I did. Everything else in my apartment, I like my dishes, clothes, rugs, whatever, anything I could keep, I kept. And I just threw it all in my truck. Like, no boxes, no nothing. I just threw it all in there because boxes take up space, and I had hella shit that I wanted to keep. A lot of stuff I actually left back that I planned on keeping. A lot of stuff I had to leave it, but it was not like really important things, just things that I wanted to keep, I guess, but it was okay. So yeah, that's what I did. I'll show you guys how my car looked when I drove to Texas. So I drove all of my stuff to Texas in the beginning of August, and my move-in date wasn't until August 14th. So drove to Dallas. I stayed for the weekend, put my stuff, like the big stuff, in storage. Everything else, like the shit that I just threw in my car, I just left it in there. I came to, you know, look at my apartment. I loved it. I left my car here, actually parked at my apartment, and I flew back to California for 2 weeks. I went to get my son, visit my family. I uploaded that vlog. It's just a mini vlog, so check that out. And then I flew back from California to Dallas. And I've been here now for not even a week yet, but so far I really love it. And I just want to put out there that I still actually love Atlanta. I just don't think it's a place to live. But I definitely plan on going back to maybe party sometimes and maybe see my friends and just visit. But it's definitely not a place for me to live and raise my son. But like I said, I'm loving Dallas so far. I love the area that I live in. It's very quiet. It's really pretty. Everyone is really nice so far. So yeah, hopefully I can, you know, just come into my own here, and hopefully this is a good experience, or, you know, a good move that I made. Hopefully I can meet some friends, because baby, I am here and I know absolutely I know one person, and that's it. I know nobody in Dallas except for myself and one other person, and my son. So if you are watching this video and you live in Dallas and you're a fun, down-to-earth, older than 25 woman, hit me up so we can hang. But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, leave me comments, ask me questions, whatever. Talk to me, I talk back, and follow me on the gram at The New Aesthetic. See you later.